Hi, welcome to this proof of concept. This is the Linux operating system with the KDE desktop running on top of it. This is their version 4.5, currently in alpha. So this presentation is about actions in KDE. So KDE have actions since a lot of time, but those actions were not able to take arguments. Now they do with this proof of concept. I took idea from the Bell Labs Plan 9 operating system and KDE itself, other part of KDE. So let's start. I have a file here, it's a text. Normally I will have to copy this text, open dialog, then paste the text. But now that action can take arguments, I can drag and drop the file names into the open action, or use the middle click. For those who are not used to Linux, middle click is like paste. So let's do it. You see it work. It just opened the file. I can do something similar with the new action, so I can select part of the text, then click the new with the middle button, of course. Then it creates a new file with the selected content. If I want to know where I took that text, I can select, let's say, menu bar here and middle click the find button. You see it found the first instance of menu bar. I can do it again, and as expected, it will find the second. This concept can go behind that, so let's close those two. If I have, let's say, a zip code, so let's write a valid Canadian zip code. There it is. I can select it, then use the right click button. Normally it would show up a context menu like this one, but with regular expressions and actions with arguments, it will now show a special context menu, a real context menu. So I can search this zip code in Google Maps, open in a key address book to look for the contact, or add a new contact based on this zip code. I can do it with email too. So let's write one. Similar with the right click. So now it did found a contact with this name, this email, sorry. So it found the contact and matched it automatically. It's quite useful. It uses a KDE from KDE 4, so I can send an email, search email from this address, open in key address book again, or add a new contact. This become quite useful. Let's do a last example. With Julius Caesar again. So this time, because of the name before the actual name, it understood that this was a name. So we have this contextual detections using regular expressions again that this is a name. So again, I can add a contact, find additional informations, or open in address books like other. Let's do something a little more complex. It's maybe a little too complex, but it's cool to show anyway, so let's do it. I just made a small syntax so I can declare actions in the files. You may ask, why would I do that? But there is a few use cases actually quite interesting to taken from the Bell Labs Plan 9 operating system. So I just selected the file name again, so by middle clicking the open, it will open like if it was in the menu bar or the toolbar. This may be useful for references. So let's say I am source code file and I want to reference a particular function. So I say open the web browser in this URLs. Then this kind of action in files can become actually useful. There is a lot of other examples, so let's talk about a few. My prototype does not implement all of them right now, but with a little more work it could. So we could have translations from language to language, declares a syntax in a config file. So when I right click in a config file, I can have auto completions options, syntax checker. So in the file I declare my syntax, then the file know how to handle it with those arguments. Once again, I could take a widget. For those who don't know what a widget is, it's like a button, checkbox, slider, anything you would see in a user interface. So I take one of these and plug it into the action with the another argument. So if I have a slider, I can connect it to the zoom option, the zoom action. So I pass the argument. The argument will be in this case the zoom ratio. Another example would be to create a paste bin. For those who don't know what paste bin is, it's the website where you can paste files and upload them. So I could make a widget, an action for this use case. This can be done using simple QtScript from the Nokia Qt framework, or Qt for those who prefer to pronounce it like that, from Nokia, to use JavaScript to create additional functions. Currently in KDE you have something called service menu, so I could use a similar approach to get new scripts from opendesktop.org or KDE apps and then add them to the text. So using that principle, we can have limitless options in the text editor that we currently don't have, with very little work to write them, add them, or acquire them if you're not a developer. So this was my proof of concept. This take no modifications to the KDE architecture, so it's 100 line of code to add the support for all of this. This is non-destructive, so current app will continue to work, even binary compatibilities. So it's just a new features that take no resources, no additional load time or anything like that. It's just cool.